let me just make sure that everyone can hear me. I think I should be good. Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Dwyer, and welcome to the Leading Ladies of Broadway with Christine Dwyer. That's me, your host. I have never hosted anything before, so we're going to make this debut together. It's going to be super fun. Um, yeah, I'm super excited about this concert series. I kind of came up with this idea right in the beginning of sheltering in place and quarantine and all that, when virtual concerts and virtual media kind of became the new normal for all of us. And I really wanted to highlight some ladies who I think are amazing. They're wonderful performers, but more importantly, they're wonderful people. And I wanted to be able to give back to those ladies who I admire and look up to so much. And the way to do that is to allow these artists a platform to perform, to speak about their own struggles in the industry, their own stories, and also, hopefully, if um, things are good and you like what you're seeing, you will donate to our virtual tip jar. It is obviously not mandatory, but it is very much appreciated as our entire business has shut down. And I will put that banner that will be scrolling through the bottom right there. So if you would like to donate, please feel free. It's at Christine-Dwyer-3 on Venmo. And I would love to be able to give back to these ladies. Everything will be split up equally. So that's that, and I will continue to remind our new viewers and viewers who are watching right in the beginning that is something that we are going to be doing. I've always tried to surround myself with really uplifting women, and I have 4 wonderful women with me to start this broadcast off on the right foot. So I'm going to allow them to come on into the room. Boom. Hey, everybody. Okay, so this is Rachel Potter, Cindy Winters, and Lily Cooper. I have worked with all of these ladies before. Rachel and Lily and I were all in the national tour of Wicked together, and actually, Lily and I were in the same building in Wicked on Broadway for a minute.
Yeah.
And Cindy and I met each other doing NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar Live, which just re-aired over Easter. I'm sure lots of you watched. And I just think that she's the coolest. So I'm going to allow them. Oh, she also, by the way, designed our logo and has helped me out tremendously with that. I tried to make a logo on my own, and I sent it to everybody. And I think everyone was trying to be nice at first, and Cindy was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Okay, you do it. You should do it because I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing." And she made it look way cooler and made us look way better. If you had seen mine, none of you would have watched. It was like a toddler did it. So so anyways, I'm going to allow them to kind of give you a little quick bio of themselves. So let's start with Cindy.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Cindy Winters, live here with my girl, Christine Dwyer, Rachel Potter, Lily Cooper. I am from the cast of, I've done a couple of shows on Broadway. I was most recently Nala in The Lion King on Broadway. I've also been in Motown the Musical, Pippin, and Hamilton, an American musical on Broadway, where I played Peggy, Angelica, and Eliza. And so I'm really excited to be here with you all. So yeah, that's me. You can find me at Cindy Winters, boop, all social media platforms right there.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Cindy. Next up will be Lily Cooper.
Hey guys, super excited to be here. I'm Lily Cooper. Like Christine said, we met doing Wicked, and I was lucky enough to do Wicked kind of all over the world. I did it in Australia and on tour and on Broadway. Before that, I made my Broadway debut in Spring Awakening as just a wee teenager. I also did SpongeBob SquarePants the musical, and I recently was just nominated for a Tony Award for Tootsie on Broadway. So that's
Woo!
a little rundown.
Woo! And here's Rachel Potter.
That deserves a round of applause. That's awesome, Lily. Woo! Hi, I'm Rachel Potter, and Christine and I met on the national tour of Wicked, where I understudied Glinda, and Christine understudied Elphaba, and my first time ever going on was with Christine, and my last time ever going on was with Christine, so we go all the way back to that. Then I made my Broadway debut as Wednesday Addams in The Addams Family. Then I played the Mistress in Evita on Broadway. Then I moved to Nashville to become a country singer, and I went on a television show that not a lot of people watch called The X Factor. and then I made some albums and stuff. Recently moved back to New York to pursue Broadway again, and here we are in the middle of a pandemic. So I started a virtual concert series with my pal Marty Thomas that we do on Wednesdays called Quarantine Cabaret, and Christine and Matt were their first guests. And so I'm excited to be the first guest on Christine's show.
Yay! Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted to not only kind of pick their brains about the whole tech process thing, because as some of you saw, I went live on Facebook for like 10 whole minutes the other day and didn't know. So really happy that these three ladies know more about this than I do, and they helped me all afternoon. And I really wanted to pay it forward back to Rachel because she helped us out, having us be her first guests on Quarantine Cabaret, which is on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So keep a lookout for that. Okay, I think we could probably get into some music now. I'll go first. So if everyone could mute their mics over here, I will just kind of talk to you a little bit about my journey. I made my theatrical debut on the national tour of Rent as Maureen. It was a non-union tour, and I joined the union as the Elphaba understudy, the second cover in the ensemble of Wicked on the tour, and kind of worked my way up to be the standby and then play Elphaba on the road. And I made my Broadway debut as the standby for Elphaba, and then a few months after that, I took over as Elphaba on Broadway and kind of played her off and on for quite a few years. After that, I did the production of Finding Neverland on tour. I played Sylvia Llewellyn Davies, and I was also just recently Jenna in Waitress, which like just leaps and bounds one of my favorite things that I've ever done, one of my favorite parts to ever perform, and so much of that was because of the female empowerment message that that show brings. And it made me, even though I was always kind of like a feminist or whatever, it made me just view things in a different way, and really want to, give back to the ladies in my life who I think are so great, and people everywhere. So without further ado, this is one of my favorite songs that I've ever been able to sing on stage, and I think some of you will know it. It's called She Used to Be Mine. It's not simple to say that most days I don't recognize me, that these shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be, although it's true I was never attention's sweet center. I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken, but won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I've got you, and you're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite an ending or two for the girl that I knew who was reckless just enough, who gets hurt but who learns how to toughen up when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love. And then she'll get stuck and be scared of the life that's inside her, growing stronger each day till it finally reminds her to fight just a little to bring back the fire in her eyes that's been gone but used to be mine. It used to be mine. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah!
Glad I got that one right. Well, thanks, guys. Again, I just wanted to remind all of the viewers watching that this is not mandatory, but it is much appreciated. We have a virtual tip jar that goes directly to my Venmo, and I will split it equally among all of the performers today. It's Christine-Dwyer-3. Thank you so much for tuning in to this first of what I hope will be a long, abundant virtual concert series that I'll get to do. So I wanted to bring Lily Cooper to the stage and talk a little bit to her about what she's going to be singing and all that stuff. So hold on. You guys have to bear with me. I'm just so bad at this. Okay, great. Oh, sweet.
Technology.
Like you'd think that like I grew up in a time without the internet and that's why I can't figure it out, but it's not the case.
No.
Like Lily said, she has been on Broadway, in SpongeBob, Wicked, Spring Awakening, and most recently Tootsie, for which she got nominated for a Tony Award. She has been on TV in The Good Fight, The Code, Elementary, Instinct, and Bull. LilyCooper.com. Check it out. Lily, what's shaking? What are you going to be singing for us?
So I have kind of a funny story about this song that I'm about to sing, and it goes back to when I was in the ensemble of Wicked and Christine was playing Elphaba. And one random performance, the designer decided to change my wig, and I was, do you remember this?
Yes, no, I remember.
I
it
was
so vividly.
the girl that like runs into Elphaba and then faints at the beginning. And so Christine sort of has to turn around and see me, and there was no preparation for this whatsoever. So I had this new wig on. She turns around, she sees me. She like tries her best to not crack up because it's hilarious. And the best way that I could describe this wig is Whitney Houston in the How Will I Know video. So just imagine curls, just lots of curls, spherical curls. It was overwhelming, but I looked cute, not gonna lie. So I thought I would pay homage to that special moment that we shared together on stage. There's a boy I know, he's the one I'm dreaming of. Looks into my eyes, takes me to the clouds above. Yeah. Oh, I lose control, can't seem to get enough. Yeah. When I wake from dreaming, tell me, is it really love? Yeah. Oh, how will I know? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know if he really loves me? I say a prayer with every heartbeat. I fall in love whenever we meet. I'm asking you what you know about these things. How will I know if he's thinking of me? I try my phone, but I'm too shy, can't speak. Falling in love is so bittersweet. This love is strong, why do I feel weak? Oh, wake me, I'm changing. Wish I had you near me now. Said there's no mistaking what I feel is really love. Hey. How will I know? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know if he really loves me? I say a prayer with every heartbeat. I fall in love whenever we meet. I'm asking you what you know about these things. How will I know if he's thinking of me? I try to phone, but I'm too shy. Falling in love is so bittersweet. This love is strong, why do I feel weak? If he loves me, if he loves me not, if he loves me, if he loves me not, if he loves me, he loves me not. Oh, how will I know? Will I know? How will I know? How will I know? How will I know if he really loves me? I say a prayer with every heartbeat. I fall in love whenever we meet. I'm asking you what you know about these things.
Yes.
That was a fun one.
Come
That
on.
is fun.
I love it. Oh my God. You sounded so good. I love that song. I love Whitney. I miss
Mine
her.
is a delayed clap because I'm putting in our private chat all of my thoughts.
Oh.
I'm just reading sang, ooh,
Yeah,
modulate.
Modulate, yes.
Yes.
I love a
it.
key change. I love a
Yes,
key change.
sensible.
Yes.
Like you like really go for it. When I do most of the virtual concerts that I do, I'm like, okay, what's like the least stressed that I'll be singing something, and then I do that
No.
usually.
Because
No,
8
that's
shows a
usually
week,
what I
it's
do.
like you
No,
don't
I
have a
get
And that's
choice.
usually what I do, but with you three, I had to step up. I had to step up my game. You know what I mean?
I get way more stressed on these things than I ever do for a concert in person, like ever. Because something
Yeah.
happens when the lights hit you and you know that there's an audience there, but there's just something else. This is like my worst nightmare is like a TV film audition that I have to sing at. You know what I mean? And that's like what is going on now with all of these virtual concerts.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
how I feel
100%. Yep.
all the time. That was so awesome. Okay, Lily, I have a few questions. We're also going to open up questions at the end for all of the viewers. So type away, and I will do my best to kind of search through everything and get to everyone's questions at the end. But I have a few of my own. So you mentioned that you were only, a teenager when you made your Broadway debut. What was that like? What was it like going to school and also being on Broadway? Like, can you kind of explain a little bit of that to us? Because I just have no clue what that could have been like.
yeah, right. No, totally. I mean, looking back on it, it's hard to really believe that I pulled it off because the amount of energy I must have needed to wake up at, you wake up early to go to high school. You wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So my schedule was insane. I mean, I was going to school during the day. I was doing homework on my lunch break, homework from 3 to 7, and then doing the show at night. So it felt like I was sort of living this double life. It was really wild. And it was my last 2 years of high school. So I had a very, unique high school experience, but I still was, I loved high school and I wanted to really experience it, the way that everybody else was. So I still made sure to attend those sort of milestones. Like I took a personal day for my prom and I took a personal day for my graduation. And um, I remember doing my SATs one Saturday morning and they ran so late that I had to do my braids like in a cab as I was running to the theater that day. So it really was wild. And now that I'm, so far away from it, I really do have to give myself credit for how hard I really was working because I was working my little butt off. And, I think it paid off eventually. But yeah, it was totally nuts. It was a
Yeah,
crazy experience. And
I bet.
I'm just grateful that I had my family, my parents, and my siblings to just be there to support me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that story.
Yeah.
Okay, now like jumping forward from the beginning of your career to now, where you're at now, tell us about the morning you found out that you were nominated for a Tony. Like, what was going through your head? Did you
Yeah.
wake up to like watch the broadcast of the nominations? Like, paint us a
Yeah.
picture.
So the broadcast happens around 8:30 in the morning, and I set my alarm for 9 o'clock because I just was too anxious to wake up and watch it. I was also alone in my apartment. Um, Paul was on the other side of the country. He was in California. And so I didn't have anybody to like celebrate with or to be like sad with. So I just sort of wanted to sleep through it because I was nervous. So I remember sort of rolling over and realizing that it was probably after 8:30 and I didn't hear my phone go off, and so I was like, okay, it didn't happen. I was like emotionally preparing myself for, not having been nominated. And then I roll over and look at my phone and realize that my phone was on silent and I had approximately like 60 text messages and like 11 missed calls.
Yeah, I
And I was
think
like, oh,
one of them being for me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I finally looked at my phone and for that to be the way that you find out was really cool. And it was kind of special because it was like all of my friends and family reaching out to me and my agents and, all of my representation and everybody. And my mom was the first one to get through to me and, she was the first person I talked to. And it was so crazy. And then immediately after it happens, you're sort of bombarded with all of these interviews and you don't even really have time to take it in. So I remember just being on the phone for hours afterward, answering questions and just being like, it's great. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm happy. It's really cool. Yeah, no, it's great. And just not knowing what to say. But yeah, that was a pretty wild day. And then we had a show that night. So that was a very special show too.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to perform in the Tony Awards with Wicked, representing their like 10-year anniversary or whatever. And man, like I have so much respect for everyone who is nominated who has to also perform on the Tonys like that, because I wasn't nominated. I wasn't in a show that was nominated. I was just representing a show, singing a little song, and that was it. And it was like 5 a.m. I was getting painted green. 6 a.m. You're going there. You're doing the full performance. Then you like sleep in your dressing room. You do your matinee. You sleep a little bit more. You get painted green again, and then wait for like hours until it's your time to go to the stage door and like walk on and perform. I mean, it's insane, and I can't imagine also having the pressure of being in a show that's nominated or being nominated yourself. Like I can't wrap my
Totally.
brain around how I would deal with that. So
I was
that's
lucky
so
because I
cool.
didn't actually perform this year, and which is sort of bittersweet, like you want to, but at the same time, I just got to enjoy getting ready and
You looked,
enjoy the
yes.
red carpet and enjoy the broadcast, and it was way more relaxing than it would have been had I had to perform. So I was
Sweet.
grateful.
That's awesome. Okay, I have one more question, and then I'm gonna ask you to sing your second song.
Okay.
Um, so you've had kind of an insane career so far, being so young and making your Broadway debut in an original Broadway company, playing, originating a two leading roles on Broadway. Recently with SpongeBob and also Tootsie. So, I ask people what their dream role is a lot, and most people are like, well, it hasn't been written yet. But you've kind of done a lot of those things, which is super cool. So, what's a dream role that is already written that you'd love to play, and why?
Uh, there are a lot. I would love to. Well, the song that I'm about to sing is actually a dream role, but I won't say that one. I think that
Oh,
the one that's really on the top of my list is Baker's Wife in Into the Woods. And
yes.
for so many reasons, Joanna Gleason is just everything. And I grew up watching that, PBS recording of the original Broadway show. And I think Moments in the Woods is one of the most beautifully written and uh, acting heavy songs. And I really love roles, especially musical theater, that are really reliant on acting. I mean, I know everything is, but I think there's some that sort of stand out more than others. And I think that one really is one of those. So that'd be
That's
on the top of
awesome.
my list. Yeah.
Ah, that's super cool. I love that. I was the witch in Into the Woods my senior
Oh,
year of high school. So
oh, I wish I saw that.
honestly, me too, because it was hilarious. I had like weird. I had two rubber gloves for like my weird witch hands, except they were two different sizes. So like
Oh,
one of them was huge, and I had to put an elastic band over it, and then the other one like barely covered my hand, and
hey,
so I
it's
couldn't
high
really
school.
like pick a lot of things up and stuff. It was pretty hilarious. Anyways, okay, I am going to let you take it away again with your second song. Everyone's been so generous already. Thank you so, so, so much for those of you who have already donated. I'm going to remind people that we have a virtual tip jar. It is going to my Venmo, and then I'm going to distribute it out equally between all of these ladies. So it's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's Christine Dwyer 3. Thank you so much for your donations already. You're incredibly generous, and we really appreciate it during this tough time for everybody, but also performers with Broadway being shut down and everything. So thank you so, so much, and take it away, Lily.
Maybe. I know Seymour's the greatest, but I'm dating a semi sadist. So I got a black eye and my arms in a cast. Still, that Seymour's a cutie. Well, if not, he's got inner beauty. And I dream of a place where we could be together at last. A matchbox of our own, a fence of real chain link, a grill out on the patio, disposal in the sink, a washer and a dryer, and an ironing machine. In the tract house that we share, somewhere that's green. He rakes and trims the grass. He loves to mow and weed. I cook like Betty Crocker, and I look like Donna Reed. There's plastic on our furniture to keep it neat and clean. In the pine-sol-scented air, somewhere that's green. Between our frozen dinner and our bedtime, 9:15, we snuggle watching Lucy on our big, enormous 12-inch screen. I'm his December bride. He's father, he knows best. Our kids watch Howdy Doody as the sun sets in the west. A picture out of Better Homes and Gardens magazine. Far from Skid Row, I dream we'll go somewhere that's
Woo!
Hey, so good. Come on, hold that note to its full value at the end. I was like,
It's a
That was
slow track,
gorgeous.
this one. It's a slow track. You got to keep up with it.
oh yeah. No, that's why I literally I have to get someone to send me a piano track for Wicked because I will not sing any of the Wicked material with the tracks that you can find on YouTube because they want
Impossible.
everything held out so long.
Yeah,
I
no,
can't do it.
absolutely.
That was so awesome. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in to Leading Ladies of Broadway, Can't Talk, with Christine Dwyer, that's me, your host, and Lily Cooper, who just sang, Cindy Winters, and Rachel Potter. Thank you so much for your generosity already. This is awesome. And yeah, I'm just having a great time talking to these folks. So next up will be Rachel Potter. And you've seen Rachel in Evita as the mistress on Broadway, Wednesday Addams in Addams Family. She was in Wicked with me, and she was a finalist on the 3rd season of The X Factor and was featured on MTV's Legally Blonde, The Search for Elle Woods, which I was obsessed with back in the day. And who knew?
Me too.
Who knew
Me
that
too.
I would become friends with actually like so many of those girls
Yeah.
on that show. It's awesome.
Funny.
Yeah, so Rachel is a Nashville recording artist and songwriter. She has numerous albums that are available, multiple single releases, and many collaborations with world-renowned a cappella groups Voctive and Voiceplay. You can check her website out at www.rachelpottermusic.com. And without further ado, take it away, Rachel.
Okay. You ready for me to sing a song first?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to give a little frame of reference, this is a little mashup that I'm getting ready to release. So it's a little preview of that. I'm doing a Broadway cover series on YouTube, so this is part of that. And here's my effects. Here we go. hello to. Without a home, without a friend, without a face to say hello to. And now the night is near, now I can make believe he's here. Sometimes I walk alone at night when everybody else is sleeping. I think of him and then I'm happy with the company I'm keeping. The city goes to bed and I can live inside my head. I dreamed a dream in times gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But I was young and unafraid, and dreams were made and used and wasted. There was no ransom to be paid, no song unsung, no wine untasted. But the tigers come at night, with their voices soft as thunder, as they tear your hope apart, as they turn your dreams to shame. On my own, pretending he's beside me. All alone, I walk with him till morning. Without him, I feel his arms around me. And when I lose my way, I close my eyes and he has found me. And I know it's only in my mind that I'm talking to myself and not to him. And although I know that he is blind, still I say there's a way for us. And still I dream he'll come to me, that we will live the years together. But there are dreams that cannot be, and there are storms we cannot weather. I had a dream my life would be so different from this hell I'm living, so different now from what it seemed. Now life has killed the dream I dreamed on my own.
Yes, for that mashup. Oh my god, I love that. I want you to play both of those simultaneously.
Let's go.
If you were wondering what I was singing next, that's it.
Oh my god, hilarious. Yeah, I want you to play both of those roles simultaneously in the same production, so that's cool.
Oh, great plan. Do they ever on the same
the only thing I know, like Fontaine doubles as like a soldier.
Yeah.
Once she dies. That's about it.
Well, maybe like a low budget production that can't hire more than one actress. I could totally do that for you guys.
And honestly, with all this stuff, that's where we're headed. So brush up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm available.
Oh my god, amazing. That was Rachel Potter singing her mashup, her Les Mis mashup. Rachel and I met in, actually we met in
2010.
Yeah, we became friends in 2010. We met before
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
we did the national tour of Wicked together, both in the ensemble understudying Elphaba and Glinda, and got to perform together for a few performances until Rachel got the phone call that she was going to be making her Broadway debut as Wednesday Addams in the Addams Family, and she left us, but we've remained close ever since. And something that I've always really admired about Rachel is how confident she is, and that's something that I just don't possess naturally. Like I have to really gear myself up to feel confident, and I've always really respected and admired that about you. So my first question is going to be like kind of the opposite of that. What's the most nervous you've ever been to perform, and why?
It was when I was doing X Factor, and it was weird for me because I really didn't get nervous. Like you said, like it's like I'm missing. It's like I'm missing something that it like tells you to like be careful. I'm like, no, I'll just go on stage and do it. But so I went to X Factor and I had a great first audition, and then the next thing that happened was this thing called the 4-chair challenge. Just don't Google it, because just for me. So it was horrible, and like Hunger Games style, where there were 4 chairs on the stage and 10 of us, and we each got up there to sing, and they would put, if they liked you, they put you in a chair. And if they liked, and then once the chairs got full, if they liked someone more than you, they'd kick you out of the chair. And there was audience surrounding us. And so I went up there, and like, just backstory, that particular day, I mean, like nothing is easy on those reality shows. Like, you know, I'd flown in the night before. We're up at like 6 a.m, sitting in some weird hallway with like fluorescent lighting and some like work radio on like AM. So it's like a form of torture, like all day long. They fed us like one sandwich in a box, like, and we were there for like 10 hours. So by the time you actually get to perform, you're already exhausted just from like the weirdest day ever. And so I was all day kind of feeling like, oh, I feel a little sick. Like I feel a little like sick maybe. And somebody said, oh, here, take these tablets. They're Zicam. So I did. And turns out they were zinc, like straight zinc. Well, zinc makes you feel really and can make you throw up. So
Oh God.
we were first to go up on the stage. And like when we found out what we were doing, I went up there, and all of a sudden I was like, oh no, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I was like, oh, it's just nerves. It's fine. So then I just downed like a bunch of water, and I was 4th to sing. And so I went up there, and it was like, you know, that feeling that you get right before you throw up where like your mouth waters.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me, and my track started. And I was like, oh no. Okay, so then it turned into like competition, like gotta get on this show, gotta get forward in the show, to just don't throw up on stage. Just whatever happens, don't throw up on stage. So I was singing a country version of To the Left, everything you own in a box to the left. Can't remember what the name of that song is, but it's a Beyonce song. Anyway.
Irreplaceable.
Thank you. And so country version of that. So I had this weird high note I was going for, and my larynx was so high, I went for it and I threw up in my mouth straight up. So I stopped singing, swallowed it, gross, and kept singing, and then had to like talk to them afterwards, and they're like, that wasn't that great. And I'm like, yeah, no, it wasn't that great. And so I had to like, in some kind of graceful way, be like, so I felt pretty sick, and I, you know, without looking like a complete ass, but being like, I'm sick, you know, and without telling the audience that I threw up in my mouth. So for some reason, they put me through. And then like for the rest of the time, like I stayed in the chair. I don't know how, but literally people in the audience were like, go home. You're the worst. You suck. Like people like right here, like on,
God.
It was horrible. So, okay, backstory is that. Then from there on, every time I was on the show, I would get so scared that I was going to do that again. that it's like bad PTSD. And that happened to me for like 2 years. Like every performance that I would do that like meant anything, like if it was like singing in a bar, like no. But if it was like a major performance, I was terrified that I was going to do that again.
Oh
So
God. Yeah.
that's it. That's my story.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's insane. I know.
Traumatic.
I felt that way about going back to Baltimore at the Hippodrome in Baltimore, that touring house, because that was the one and only time that I had to call out mid-show as Elphaba, and every single time that I've gone through there, I've like my body tricks itself into being like, you're sick now, like you're sick, and it's gonna happen again, and you're gonna have to go out mid-show again. And so every time I walk into that theater, I like have to brace myself for every performance there, me being like unreasonably nervous for no reason from something that happened like I don't even know how long ago, like 7 or 8 years ago, whatever. But yeah, I totally get that. Okay.
Well, I mean, those kinds of like embarrassments are not things that normal people deal with. Like,
right.
I mean,
like just
think
blowing
about
a tire in front of thousands of people. It's like, cool.
No, people in normal life like get nervous to go up in front of their team of 10 people to like make a presentation. Like, yeah. It's unnatural, the things we do.
And to be fair, like I still feel that way. Like I'm nervous as hell right now just talking to the four of you. I don't even know what people are saying. I know people are watching, but like I don't know. I don't even know how I got into this for a living, to be honest. I ask myself that like every day.
Because you're so talented.
Because you're good at it.
It's a gift. It's a gift that we get to hear you sing.
Aw,
100%.
thanks. Well, okay, so what was your audition process like for the X Factor? Like, how did you find out about where the auditions were being held? Did you have to send in a tape first and then go? Did you like wait in the crazy lines like American Idol? Like, how does that all work for that show?
So when I went to audition for the X Factor, I auditioned for American Idol like 3 times and not gotten through. And then I'd auditioned for The Voice a couple of times and gotten sent through to Hollywood, but wasn't allowed to go because I was in contracts with Broadway shows. So the X Factor was like the first time that I had just left New York. I just moved to Nashville. I was bartending, so I was a free agent. And I found out about it. It was in Long Island. And in all of the past ones that I had done, it was like, be there at 6 a.m. and then you end up getting there and you wait until freaking 11 o'clock before they even let you in. And you're so tired. They like don't set you up for success. They set you up for like mental and physical exhaustion so that they get good TV ultimately. And that they can get all these shots of like thousands of people outside. So when I went to audition for the X Factor, I was like, whatever, I'm going to get there when I get there. And if I'm seen, cool. I was literally the last person in line. So I technically stood in line, but I didn't actually stand in line. I got there at like 1 p.m. and was like, hey, can I still be seen? They were like, okay. And so luckily, the person that I saw, the PA, his name was Will. We ended up becoming friends. He was like, wait, I know of you. You did Broadway, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, sing Defying Gravity. I was like, okay. So I did. But I also sang Somebody to Love, which ended up being my X Factor audition. So that was my first one. So then the next day I got through the callbacks because of lovely Will, who put me through. And then the next day they're like, great, be here at 6 a.m. And I got there at 11 because I was like, if this is meant to be, I'm just going to do my thing. Like, I'm going to get there when I get there. So again, I was like, because I don't know. I felt like if it was, that's the thing I love to hold on to. And I learned this quote from Matt DeAngelis, your hubby. That is
hilarious.
If it's meant for you, it will not pass by you. And I love to hold on to that quote. And so for this moment, that's what I held on to. If it's meant for me, it will not pass by me. So I went there at 11 and I got through the next round. And then the next thing was the judges. Like, so I actually went in front of like Simon and all that. So I found out about it just on the website. That was it. And I just like went and stood in line
Awesome.
Stood in line, got there at 1. So.
See, confidence.
And that's it.
Confidence, people.
Yeah, I guess. Confidence or laziness and procrastination. You call it what you want to.
Well, it's served you well. That's great.
It worked out in that particular instance. But
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of those people who have donated generously to our virtual tip jar. We really appreciate it.
thank you.
It's scrolling across your screen right now. It's my Venmo, and I will disperse everything evenly with the ladies that you're seeing today. So it's Christine-Dwyer-3 on Venmo. Thank you so much for donating. We really appreciate it. It's tough having your whole industry be rely upon getting butts in the seats and having big crowds of people watching you and even like auditions. There's tons of us that are there all the time, and so we can't do any of the things that would normally make us money. So like always, Broadway and the entire community has kind of pulled together and done some really cool things like this virtual concert series and many others. So I'm very grateful to all of you for being so generous, and grateful for these ladies and how they've donated their time and their voices for tonight's virtual concert series, and I really appreciate that. One more question that I have for Rachel before I want her to sing another song for us. How has becoming a mother changed the way you look at performing?
I think it's deepened a lot of things for me. Some feelings that I don't think that I was really ever aware of before, because I was, Kristen described me in a very nice way, but I've always been just sort of like a piranha for like success, and I'm a 3 on the Enneagram, so I'm like always just going, and I just gotta like succeed. And I think it slowed me down a lot to just live a little bit more in the now and appreciate things. I don't know, like the stopping and smelling the roses things a little bit more. And it's been interesting because I have transitioned into more of a mom role and type. And so now I'm actually going in for those kind of roles. And one of my last auditions, I went in for Dear Evan Hansen. And I don't think I could, me personally, I know lots of people can connect to material without actually being a parent, but I know that now I can connect to that in such a real way as an actress that I would never have been able to even pretend to connect to in the past. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Jude has been so good, by the way, during this concert series. He came in and hung out with us this afternoon when we were kind of testing out the sound and everything, and I think he might have a career on the stage in his future.
I think so too. I sang with the St. Louis Symphony over Christmas holidays, and I invited him up on stage for like the sing-along, and he wouldn't let me hold him, and he took the mic from me and danced around on stage, and Zach tried to come get him off, and he was like ran from him. He wanted to stay on the stage, and the kid likes the stage, and
That's awesome.
he has that like really just stupid confidence like I do, where it's like people will walk by and he'll go, "Hi, I'm Jude Crenning."
Oh,
That's
everyone,
awesome. But hey,
anyone, and everyone.
Be proud of who you are and start out young. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to sing one more song for us, and thank you again so much for everyone who's donated. Thank you for tuning in. Without further ado, here is Rachel Potter.
Thank you.
Oops,
so I
nope,
thought I might.
Actually
that's
me.
Okay. Hi, you're cute though.
There's
you're
Rachel
cute.
Potter.
I'm gonna do Lady Gaga's "You and I." I love this song so much. How's that track? Is it too loud or is it okay? It's been a long time since I came around. Been a long time, but I'm back in town. And this time I'm not leaving without you. Tastes like whiskey when you kiss me. I'd give anything again to be your baby and die. say, sit back to where you belong, in the corner of the bar with my high heels on. Sit back down on the couch where we made love the first time, and you said to me, something about this place. Something about the lonely nights and the lipstick on your face. Something about my cool Nebraska guy. Yeah, something about, baby, you and I. It's been 2 years since I let you go. I couldn't listen to a joke or rock and roll. Muscle cars drove a truck right through my heart. On my birthday, you sang me a heart of gold with a guitar humming and no clothes. This time I ain't leaving without you. So sit back down where you belong, in the corner of a bar with your high heels on. Sit back down on the couch where we made love the first time, and you said to me, something about this place. Something about lonely nights and my lipstick on your face. Something about my cool Nebraska guy. Yeah, something about, baby, you and I. 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 Oh, yeah, I'd rather die without you and I. We got a whole lot of money. Oh, you and I. We got a whole lot of money, but we still pay rent, 'cause you can't buy a house in heaven. There's only 3 men that I'm certain of my whole life. It's my daddy and Nebraska and Jesus Christ. Something about the chase. You're wanting to rope you down, so on my lipstick all over your face. Something about just knowing when it's right. Put your drinks up for Nebraska, Nebraska, I love you, you and I, yeah, you and I, baby, I'd rather die without you and I, you and I, you and I, Nebraska, I'd rather die without you and I. It's been a long time since I came around. Been a long time, but I'm back in town. This time I'm leaving without you.
Woo!
Woo!
Yes.
Thanks. Was the
You
track
can
too
sing.
loud?
So good. No. Only in the beginning, and then
Okay,
you tweaked
I turned it
think, and
down.
it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay,
what
good.
happened in the middle there. Maybe I hit something when we all 4 of us went in the middle of
That's
your
okay. I
song,
wasn't
so I'm
looking.
sorry.
I was looking at the words.
Okay, great. I have a good story about 2 good stories about Lady Gaga. First of all, me and Rachel and the entire cast of Wicked on the road got a party bus and went to go see her Monsters Ball concert. Where were we? In like North Carolina or something? No, Minneapolis. Minneapolis.
No. Yes, Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. It was Minneapolis.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we all
Oh,
went.
I'm still baby Jessica in the well. Hang on. That's Marty Thomas's joke.
That's really funny. Yeah, and so we like rented a party bus and all went to her concert, and it was amazing. The second story that kind of ties into that one is one of the bands that opened up for her. They were called Semi Precious Weapons. The lead singer is Justin Tranter, and I reached out to him because when I was in high school, I used to flyer for his band, the Justin Tranter band.
Really?
Yeah, I used to. So like one of the guys in his band was like my friend's voice teacher or something, and so me and Ashley and Katie and I can't remember who else used to go into Boston. We would like flyer for this band, and they ended up becoming and they were friends with Lady Gaga before she became Lady Gaga, and she used to open up for them in Boston. So I saw Lady Gaga when she, just had her long brown hair at a piano singing her tunes, opening up for the Justin Tranter band. Obviously, history is such, and Lady Gaga became Lady Gaga, and so she redid the favor for them, and they opened up for her, and we got to see them when we were in Minneapolis. So like,
That's cool.
Wow.
super super weird, but I love that. I love people supporting people and artists supporting other artists like that, and Lady Gaga is one that I just deeply respect and think she's just the bomb. And
I'm gonna see if I can find that picture of us on that party bus
I
real
don't know
quick.
if you want to find that.
It's really good. I'm just gonna see if I can find it really
Okay.
fast. But please move on. I'll let you know if I find it.
Okay, great.
Oh, here's one that's really fantastic. Just real quick, if I can just share that of us backstage.
Aww.
Aww. Yeah.
We used to do a lot of interpretive dances back there because neither one of us are dancers, so that's really why it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here's the one.
Oh no. Okay.
How did you find it so quick?
Oh,
I'm
no.
impressed.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh God, I gotta
Wow.
turn into
Yes, give me that heel.
Wow.
Where did that shoot? Where is that foot coming from?
It's Christine's.
Somewhere.
Work.
Yeah, so funny. Oh, here's another one.
Flexible.
Oh, our partying on that party bus.
Oh yeah.
Get
there
up
we
on
are.
that.
Yeah.
With
Are.
Daniel
Daniel
Torres
Torres.
and Matthew.
Oh my god.
Good times. Yeah, we went and got our makeup done at Mac. Like it was it was an event. It was a
Yes,
deal.
I
Mac.
think that's where I discovered hair extensions for the first time because you took me shopping for hair extensions. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
That's right. I love hair extensions.
Anyways,
All right, good reminiscing. I loved it.
thank you so much for those two songs. That was awesome, and your stories. I appreciate it. And thank you.
Sorry,
all
they were
for-
long.
No, they were great. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys are having as much fun as we are. And again, thank you so much for donating to our virtual tip jar, which is my Venmo account. It's Christine-Dwyer-3 on Venmo. And all of the money from this concert will go to these artists equally. And it's just much appreciated. Not mandatory, of course, but if you have a few bucks lying around that you're not going to spend on takeout, I'm sure that we would all appreciate it very much, and we already appreciate your incredible generosity as it is. So that brings us to our last guest of the day, Cindy. Cindy Winters and I met doing NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar Live, and her other onstage credits include Pippin, Motown the Musical, Hamilton, and most recently she returned to Broadway as Nala in Disney's The Lion King. Cindy Winters' music album, Lessons from a Lady, is out now on Spotify, Apple Music, and all streaming platforms. I have heard some of her original music because you did a thing on like Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
When we
in
were-
Harlem
when we
at
were-
Minton's.
Yeah. And it's brilliant. Her voice is sick. She's just awesome. And, she's one of the people that we didn't know each other at all before Jesus Christ Superstar Live. And she's one of those people that, like, the second you meet her, you like want to be her best friend, and also like kind of want to follow her around because she's so cool. And at least I know that's how I felt. She was, you know, we were all kind of like in the ensemble of that piece, with Sarah Bareilles and John Legend and Brandon Victor Dixon and Alice Cooper and all of them kind of like being the leads, and we were in the ensemble. And she's like a person that is just a natural leader, and she like led that ensemble with positivity and also just being an incredible dancer, an incredible singer, and always, you know, kind of having an awesome attitude in those long rehearsal days. So I'm so glad that she is here, and I want her to take it away with her first song.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
So this song is called If You Believe, or Believe in Yourself. This song is from the very critically acclaimed hit musical, The Wiz.
Yes.
There's a girl full of wishes and a pocket full of dreams. She's a million ways away from home. She has the courage of her mother, like a father knows the street, but she can't figure which way to go. One by one the doors slam in her face. Rejection is a friend. Then she hears a voice inside her say, "Getting stronger. If you believe, believe." This is a groove. Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to snap your fingers and sway. What's happening? If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's yours, oh yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still. You know, from the moment you try, if you believe, I know you will. Believe in yourself right from the start. You'll have a brain, you'll have a heart, you'll have courage to last your whole life through. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, as I believe in you. Let me see those shoulder rolls. The sun is set now. We're gonna get into our grown and sexy now. You believe that you can go on. Believe you can float on air. Click your heels 3 times if you believe. Then you'll be there. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic you have there in your heart. Believe all of these things, not because I told you to. No, believe it yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, as I believe in you. Yay!
Woo!
Woo!
You better believe I was snapping and swaying the whole
Yeah,
I was
time.
dancing.
Giving
dancing.
you a
Not-
full.
Yeah, you did not need to tell me to groove. I was already there. So good. I love it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for that. Again, thank you all for your generosity. The virtual tip jar is scrolling across your screen. Christine-Dwyer-3 on Venmo. Thank you so much for those of you who have already donated. Thank you to everyone for taking the time and hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Okay, so I have a couple of questions for Cindy. Since I know Rachel's Broadway debut story and I saw Lily in her Broadway debut story, can you tell us the story of your Broadway debut phone call?
Oh, my phone call?
Well, I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah, or I don't know, all of it. Your phone call, the Broadway
Okay.
debut, whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. So I wanted to be in The Lion King since I was like 10 years old. Okay, I'm originally from New York. So when I got the call that I had an audition for it, I was like, I made it. I'm going to be on Broadway. Well, I went in and I auditioned and I bombed. It was at the Lyric Theater, which was the Hilton Theater, which was some other theater years and years ago. It keeps changing names. I auditioned in that room and I didn't get a call back, but I waited and I was like optimistic and I was like, let me wait. I waited for about 3 years and figured, okay, let me just, I think they might have found somebody. So I just like kept auditioning and I was working as a dancer at the time. My first job was as a Knicks City dancer. Like I danced at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks in the NBA, and that's like how I started my career and like to get paid the bills essentially. And I was like always doing something, like always dancing, always trying to figure something out. And then I started singing in a wedding band, and so like I know a ton of songs. And throughout those years that I was waiting on the Lion King to call me back, I was doing weddings and corporate events and stuff. So I went, years had gone by. I get another call saying the Lion King wants to see me. I'm like, okay, great. Maybe they have a case of mistaken identity because I was terrible in that last audition. Like, I swear to God. So the day before I was supposed to go in, I have lunch with a friend named Derek Ferguson. And he's like, what are you going to wear? And I was like, I'm going to wear a dress. And he was like, why would you wear a dress? And I was like, because that's what you wear to auditions. He was like, don't do that. Okay. You never wear dresses. Like, I have never met you. I've never known you to wear like a dress, you know? And I was like, oh, you're right. And at the time I had like a full on like shaved head on one side and a mohawk on the other side. And I was like, what am I doing? You're right. So I went in with like, black leggings, like a black turtleneck, leather jacket, the works, like the look, like that's my street look.
Yes.
So, I go in there and Mark Brandon, he's like, oh, hi, Cindy. And I'm like, oh, he remembers my name? Oh, wait, I have a picture. Duh. I sing the song, I sing Shadowland, and do the sides. And he's like, okay, great, thank you. I get a call back for like the next week or so. And then I come in and he gave me some notes last time, and I get a call back. I come back in, and I'm like, hey, do I need to sing this again? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Good. I just want to make sure. So I sing the song, and then he looked at me. He goes, hey, what happened to the girl that like came in here last time with the dress? And I was like, oh, he remembered the girl with the dress. Okay, she quit the business. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? So I came in and did that. He's like, so from the last time I saw you, you did something different. What was it? And I was like, well, Mark, you gave me some notes, and I took the notes and I brought them back, and voila. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. So there's that. So then I get a call back, my final call back. I'm at Chelsea Studios. I'm standing with like Valicia LeKay, another woman. I don't remember who it was, but it was Valicia LeKay for sure. And I'm walking in, like in the hallway at Chelsea Studios, and I'm hearing Valicia LeKay tear down Shadowland, like no break, like crispy, crystal clear vocals, right? I'm like, oh, it's been real, God. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I like to, I got a 6:40 train on the LIRR that I got to get back because then I'm gonna get screamed on for being late for dinner. So let me just hurry my ass up and get through this shit. So I go in. Right before I go in, I get the hiccups. And I'm like, this is it? This is how we're gonna do this right now?
Oh.
Okay, this is a mess. So I remember like some remedy that my friend's grandmother taught me. And she was like, if you hang upside down and you drink the glass of water, then it will cure your hiccups. I was like, I will try anything at that point. If you told me to squash it up my butthole, I would have done it. So I was like, okay, let me get to it. So I did it, and it kind of worked. And I was like, I don't have time. Cindy, please come into the room. And it's the entire creative team. And I'm like, okay, I've never been to a final callback in anything before. So I was like, is this natural? Is this normal? Like I sing Shadowland or whatever. They put the mask on my head.
Whoa.
Wow.
It's like legit. And then the music director, the music supervisor is like, all right, can you try this? Giza booyah, whatever, that thing. And I was like, okay, cool, let's try this. So then they asked me to sing the song again. I'm in my full mode. You would have thought I was in Phantom of the Opera. Like you hear do, 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 do. And I'm like jamming, right? I get to the Giza Booyah Bo part. I see one of the producers like literally full fist punch the other producer in the leg. And I was like, that seems like a positive sign. Cool. Good. And then they say, thank you. I finish. They say, thank you. I get on that 6:40 train because I know I have to get home. It is not a game. I was like, that happened. I get on the train, my phone rings, and people hate on the Long Island Railroad when you're on your phone. Like, that's like a thing. If you've ever been on the Long Island Railroad, people get like real stank about it. And I'm like, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't be worrying about me. So I pick up the phone and I'm like, hey, it's my agent. He's like, hey, so how's it going? And I'm like, what the hell you want? What you got for me? So he's like, Disney wants to make you an offer. And I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know, offer for dinner and a movie, chicken or fish. I don't know. So they're like, you want me to say it? And I was like, say what? Like, I'm literally green. I don't know anything. He's like, Disney wants to make you an offer to be Nala in the national tour of Disney's The Lion King. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So then I proceed to scream and holler on the Long Island Railroad.
Yes.
People looking at me. I'm like, mind your damn business. Okay, my life has changed. God touched my life. Out here
So good.
in these streets.
Oh my God.
So I get home. My family is pissed. My godmother was like, so I said to take the 5:40 train. And I was like, so what had happened was, da-da-da. So she's mad. So she cutting that chicken parmesan real hard. And my little sister, she's like 4. And she looks down and she's like eating whenever. She goes, so Cindy, you get the job or what? And I was like, actually, Kylie, I did. And then my godmother drops her plate and she's like, oh my God. She starts calling everybody, all of a sudden, like, I'm forgiven. I'm like, okay, great. So then, like, that was one of the moments that I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Life is like the universe thing and the law of attraction thing that works. I had a vision board. I like dreamt about it. I visualized it. I felt it. I lived it. This is like actually happening. Wow. Okay, cool. And my life changed forever.
That is awesome.
Wow.
I love
Yeah.
I love that story.
that.
That's
I
a
feel
great
it.
story. No one on the train like celebrated with you. You didn't like tell everybody on
no.
the train. Dang,
In
if I had
New
been on
York?
that train, I would have celebrated.
You know
with
that
you.
was the rush hour crew. That was peak season. They were like, yeah, shut your ass up. You know what kind of day I had? I don't want to hear about your good news.
right. Right.
Oh my God. That
So,
amazing.
So there's another funny story. It's like I never really get gigs that are like, I audition and then like you get it. It has to be like a thing. So when I auditioned for Motown, like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, the last time they called me, I was like, I'm done. Like I'm not coming in for this show again. this is ridiculous. I'm auditioning for 4 or 5 times now. So right before I went to the audition, I went for a run because, I had to get my mind right, get in the zone. And Katy Perry's Roar just came out. Y'all were listening to that
Love that
song.
song.
Don't try to front.
of
I know,
course.
I love that song.
Absolutely.
Okay,
On
because you
repeat.
you're gonna hear me roar. You get pumped. So I'm walking all the way to Telsey, the older Telsey, not like the one before where the one we're at now.
Yeah.
So 311. So I'm like, okay, I'm going up and down. I'm listening to. I'm getting pumped. Right, boom. I'm in the elevator. Hit the button hard. Boom. 10. We going up the elevator. So I'm meaning it. So the door opens. There's like a little
Vestibule.
and then like a glass, and then like a little doorway. So I see my boy Ryan. I say, hey, Ryan McFlyin, what's going on? Hey, he's like, hey, girl, how you doing? He's getting in the elevator, and I'm turning around. And I say, all right, I'll see you later. Bang! I walk right into the glass window
No.
in the vestibule, and it's like
No.
so loud because Telsey's quiet. Everybody's like in their sides.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like,
Oh my god.
and so I'm like, okay. It doesn't take nothing much just to suck the cool right out of you. So everything is just like off the table. You know what I'm saying? Like I had all that energy. It was like level. So then I go into the audition room. I'm like, okay, this is the last time I'm going to audition. I'm embarrassed. So like, what else could happen at this point? I sing the song. They come back out. They start taking my measurements. I'm like, okay. And then I got the job.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good sign.
Awesome.
And then like literally as I was walking, like I didn't even get home before they were like, you start on Tuesday. I learned that show in 3 days.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
And that is like an involved, insane show. It's
13
like
wig changes?
Costume changes.
A
Yeah.
million
Oh my
costume
God.
changes, 13 wig changes. I just did the whole show like this.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever done a show and has worn a wig, you know what the hell this is.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs
Yeah.
up. Put your fingers up.
For that,
Lace
yep.
front.
Oh my god. That is awesome.
So yeah, that's it.
I feel like we
Wild.
should make that a thing. Like that should be our greeting to like fellow musical theater performers.
Yeah. It's a very
Yes.
I like
inside
that.
thing. Like not
That's good.
everybody would know.
Yes.
I like that.
That's funny. Let's start it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
like it.
We're gonna
done.
make fetch happen, Gretchen.
Yes. It's a thing.
Okay, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Because like all of us actually, you've been an understudy. All of us have been understudies. So what's your favorite role that you've performed and why? Not necessarily like even if you didn't take over full time or whatever. Like what was your favorite, most fun role that you got to do?
It's hard. I mean, it's not hard because like Nala is my girl. Like Nala owes me nothing. Like she took me to meet Beyonce. Like I love
yes.
you, girl. Like Nala all day. I'm wearing Nala buns right now. It's like it's real. It's a lifestyle. But one thing that was the most impactful for me in my life was like I rap, I sing, and I'm a songwriter. So I've been in like the hip hop R&B space in the hip hop R&B world my entire life. Like it was what raised me. I'm from New York originally. My parents are from Jamaica, and so like I live, breathe, and like I am from that culture. I wasn't necessarily from the musical theater world like that. I was just like, oh, this is cool. The Lion King, Shadowland, Heather Headley. There's an outlet and a vehicle for my singing or for my voice or my talent or whatever. So I found out about this play called Hamilton Mixtape, and I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. Auditioned for that. Ended up becoming the principal standby for Peggy, Angelica, and Eliza Schuyler, the Schuyler sisters, and was like, this is exactly what I have built. Every single tool that I have in my arsenal, this is for this thing here. And so the reason why I wanted to do Hamilton was because of Angelica Schuyler, because she came out with that Satisfied with that hot fiery, and I was
Yes.
ready. I was like, oh, I got laser focused when I saw Renee Goldsberry. I was like, focused. And I had two images on my vision board. 12 years ago. It was The Lion King, and one was In the Heights. And although I've never played In the Heights, it's the same creative team, and so I still feel like we're still good. Like, vision accomplished. So yeah, that was my the Schuyler sisters, and specifically Angelica. I really liked Eliza for many reasons. She has a beautiful arc, so that was cool. So yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. I have a quick Hamilton audition story. I did, in fact, audition
Don't
for
we all?
Hamilton. Yeah, I
I
did, in
don't.
fact,
I don't
audition
have
for
one.
Hamilton back in the day before it went to the public, and it was very much like I knew that I wasn't going to get that job. Like, it kind of said it in the email. They were like, we're just seeing a couple of people just in case, but like, you're not going to get this job. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I love the music. I literally, when I got the audition, I got sent like a recording just of Lynn and his piano track. Like, it wasn't a full demo. It was like him doing the stuff, and you had learned it from that. And so I had to do like a bunch of different songs. I'm not even sure if all of them ended up actually in the show, but I had to do one of Angelica's songs, and I walked into the audition. I knew I wasn't gonna get it. I also like had no idea what the concept would be, so I walked in jeans and a Beastie Boys t-shirt.
Oh
That
yeah.
stupid white idiot that I am.
I wish I had done that. I wish I had done that. Honestly, I wish I had done
I was like, no Sleep Till Brooklyn. I'm not gonna get hired in this show. And so I like, whatever. It's so stupid. I went in, and Lynn was there, and everybody was there, and I got to that song where like he on the recording that he sent, like the other part was on it, like the guy's part or whatever. But I had never practiced it without the recording because there was no music that was given. It was like kind of you were left to your own devices in that way. And so it started playing, and I was like, I don't rap. I am not a rapper. I am not going to be good at this. It's going to be really, really tough for me to do this without the male voice here. And I looked right at Lynn, and I was like, will you rap with me? And he was like, you're going to make me rap in your audition? And I was like, look, we both know that I'm not getting this job. So, yes, I want to say that I rapped with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes.
And he laughed,
That's
and he
fucking
got up
badass.
and rapped with me. And it was like
That is
by
freaking
far
awesome,
the
yo.
coolest, like one
So
of the
cool.
coolest audition stories that, I mean,
That's
honestly, like one of the
great.
coolest performer moments that I've ever had in my life.
That is awesome, yo.
Yeah, it was super, super cool. Obviously, I didn't get a call back or the job, but I went to go see the show a bunch of times, and I love it. So
That's so cool. I haven't seen it yet, but it's getting ready to come out on Disney Plus, I think, right?
Yep,
Oh my
in
God.
July.
Amazing.
So I'm super excited. I'll get a chance to see it. I've like obviously worn out the recording, but Satisfied is my favorite, and that's the one you're gonna do.
That's
Oh,
a
yes.
beautiful transition,
Actually,
Rachel.
It is.
Thank-
So without further ado, Cindy is going to be singing from Hamilton, Satisfied.
A toast to the groom, to the bride, from your sister, who is always by your side, to your union, and the hope that you provide. May you always be satisfied, rewind. I remember that night, I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those soldier boys tripping over themselves to win our praise. I remember that dreamlight, candlelight, like a dream light she can't quite blaze. But Alexander, I'll never forget the first time I saw your face. I've never been the same. Intelligent eyes and a hunger pang frame. And when you said hi, I forgot my dang name. My sister is calling me the devil is a liar. Heart of flame, every part of flame. This is not a game. Here come the rap. sell. So this is what it feels like to match wits with someone at your level. What the hell is a catch? It's the feeling of freedom, of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with the key and the kite. You see it, right? The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. It's a dream and it's a bit of a dance, a bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'ma give him a chance. I asked about his family. Did you see his answer? His hair started fidgeting. He looked askance. He's penniless, is flying by the seat of his pants. Handsome and boy, does he know it? Peach fuzz and he can't even grow it. I wanna take him far away from this place. Then I turn to see my sister's face and she is helpless. And I know she is helpless. And her eyes are just helpless. And I realize 3 fundamental truths at the exact same time. I'm a girl in a world in which my only job is to marry rich. My father has no son, so I'm the one who has the souls to climb for one. Cause I'm the oldest and the wittiest, and the gossip in New York City is insidious. Alexander is penniless. That doesn't mean I want him any less. Fill in the blank, I want to hear you. Number 2, he's after me cause I'm a scattered sister that elevates the status side. Have to be naive to sit that aside. Maybe that is why I introduced him to Elias, and now that's his bride. Nice going, Angelica, he was right. You will never be satisfied. Number 3, I know my sister like I know my own mind. You will never find anyone as trusting or as kind. If I tell her that I love him, she'd be silently resigned. He'd be mine. She would say I'm fine, she'd be lying. But when I fantasize at night, it's Alexander's eyes as I romanticize what might have been if I hadn't sized him up so quickly. At least my dear Eliza's his wife. At least I keep his eyes in my life. To the groom, to the bride, from your sister, who is always by your side, to your union, and the hope that you provide, may you always be satisfied. And I know she'll be happy as his bride, and I know he will never be satisfied. I will never be satisfied.
Woo!
Work.
That
Work,
like
work, work.
literally couldn't
Work.
have worked out any better because I got kicked off the internet and had to come back in, so I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, that was so good, Cindy.
So good.
Thank you.
Good.
My gosh, here's Jude, by the way, everyone.
Hey, Jude.
Jude, say hi. Say hi. You're on TV.
Hey,
Oh, now he's
Everybody's watching you.
He's
Okay,
proving you a
what's
liar
up?
now.
Okay, wait. So it didn't kick me off. That's so weird. Well, as long as hopefully that didn't.
Doug
kick me off
Lyons
any
is
of the-
watching, y'all.
Yay!
Yay!
We had that whole story with Alex, your brother, and Doug.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Doug. I've been watching the live.
Okay,
Yes.
Great. Well, great. So everything seems to be fine, and people are still talking about stuff on Facebook. Again, I wanted to thank everybody so much for tuning in and for your incredible generosity. I really wanted to help support other artists like myself who are struggling during this time, and you all made that possible by not only lending us your ears, but also donating money out of your wallets. We really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw today and would like to donate, the virtual tip jar is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's my Venmo. It's Christine-Dwyer-3 on Venmo. And so many of you have already donated. We so appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to, before we open it up for a few questions, because we don't have a ton of time, think about the questions that you want to ask, type them in, and I'm gonna sing one final song for you to wrap this up. But again, thank you so much. Thank you, Rachel Potter. Thank you, Cindy Winters. Thank you, Lily Cooper. I really appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind just like sticking around for a second to answer a couple of audience questions, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Christine. Thanks for doing this.
Yay! I'm so glad.
So fun.
Sugar butter flour. Sometimes I still see her, my mother, the dreamer. She'd say nothing's impossible, child. A dream needs believing to taste like the real thing, like some stranger you recognize. So pure, so electric, so sure, so connected to those little believers inside. May we all be so lucky. But dreams are elusive. The kind we've gotten used to is nothing I can feel, nothing that I know. Dreams come and they go, but hold them and keep them, and know that you need them when your breaking point's all that you have. A dream is a soft place to land. May we all be so lucky. Sugar, butter, flour.
Woo!
Yay, that's it for me.
Hey, Christine, a couple people are asking about how they can donate if they don't have Venmo or access to Venmo because they're in Canada.
Good question.
Do you have a PayPal?
I do have a PayPal account. It is linked to my email. Let me see how I can do this. Let's see.
Yeah. Give them mine if you want, and I can just send it
Yeah,
to
I mean,
you
I
if
just
you don't want to give out your email address.
I mean, I'm just not even sure if I haven't used PayPal in a minute. Let's see.
Or there's a cat. Do you have the Cash
There's
app?
Cash App.
I
Yeah.
don't have a Cash App.
Okay. Well, let's do questions
Let's
or
do some
something.
questions first, and then let me. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Whatever. My email is christine.c.dwyer@gmail.com.
Nobody abuse it, or I'll come for you.
And honestly, like, even if you did, I'm like the worst I mean,
She won't answer you anyway.
I won't. I have, let's see, I don't know, let's take a gander. Oh yeah, I have 39,247 unread emails.
Dollars?
Oh my
okay, here it
gosh.
is.
39,000.
So anyone who's trying to get in touch with me via email,
It's not going to
honestly,
work.
good luck.
I
Yeah,
have 7,000. Also terrible.
Yeah, I have almost 40,000. So yeah, so use my email and hopefully I just checked that's the email address that is linked to my PayPal, Christine.c as in cat.dwyer@gmail.com. I can put it in the chat too. Yeah, so let's take a couple of questions. Okay. Oh, all right, great. I'm just gonna pick these at random. What is your favorite onstage mishap, Rachel? Thank you, Clarissa, for that question.
I would say my favorite onstage mishap was when I went on for Glinda for the very first time, and I stepped out of the bubble and tripped for the very first entrance.
Oh no!
Stepped right on. And Christine, you were there.
Oh,
you were there. You weren't on the stage though because you were playing Elphaba, but I was. It's like, it's good to see me, isn't it? And like land, and then like you have this like very, very graceful like step onto the stage, and I fell and went, I'm okay. Get going.
Oh no!
That is amazing. Thank you for that. Okay, so next question from Alex Washington. How did you stay motivated before you got your first role? Let's go to Cindy for that one.
How did I stay motivated after I got my first role?
Yeah.
Thanks,
before
Alex.
Your first role.
Before my first role. How did I stay motivated? You know, I can't really do anything else, so I had to make this work.
Right?
Like I literally, honestly, like I made choices that put me in the space where either it was keep going or work at Walmart. And so I had to like
no fallback.
Yeah, I was like, there's no fallback plan. And so I just was willing to do, I had that similar confidence. Don't want to call it any sort of disability, but...
I called it stupid confidence because I couldn't think of anything better.
Yeah, because I just don't give a damn.
A naive confidence, maybe.
Just naive confidence, just there's no filter. There's no like course of action that you take to say, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. I was like, I'm out here. I actually auditioned for America's Got Talent, their first season, where it was Pierce Morgan and David Hasselhoff and Brandy. And I auditioned and got flown out to LA with my friends who, 3 of my friends did not sing, but we were a singing group like the Pussycat Dolls. That was around the time of the Pussycat Dolls, so we can try to get away with that. But then one of my friends caught laryngitis the day of the show, and I had to rework all the vocals. And she was like, by the time we got to the judges, we got 2 X's out of 3. And I was like, whew, Brandy, thank you.
Oh
and they were like, well, you're not a singing group. And I was like, these are facts. It's really 1 singer and 4 dancers. But we were really trying to do our best here. So we actually didn't end up going to the round, but I have like those advertisement title cards where it says like America's Got Talent, and then like a photograph of the random talent that some of the contestants, they used our image. So I'm like, damn, I was that fine. So yeah, there was like just no, like I auditioned for everything. I went to open calls for Making the Band. I went to open the calls for American Idol. I went to open calls for everything I could. And before the Nick City Dancers, that was an open call.
Wow.
So I was just used to going to open calls and standing there and getting hoarse and being exhausted.
Can you just FaceTime me daily and tell me stories? Because this is really fun. You're
Yeah.
you're a great storyteller and very funny.
Every morning, I get on IG Live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and I do a morning vibe, is what I call it. And I tell stories, and I talk to friends. Some of my friends from the morning vibe are all with us live right now. And I just
I'll be there.
talk mess.
I will be there.
And we play
That's
music, and sometimes I'll have you pop in, Rachel. And we
Okay,
just have a
I'm
conversation.
not sure I'll look cute today. It's gonna be 8 a.m. where I
Oh.
am, so okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
will
yeah.
though, girl.
Like,
I don't
that's
look
the
like
whole
this in
point.
the morning.
That's the whole point.
Okay,
Come as you are.
I will come as I am. I'm excited. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is from Holly, and that's going to be to Lily. What is one of the most vocally challenging songs you've ever sung?
Hi, Holly. I genuinely think that the end of Defying Gravity is one of the most challenging moments, really, ever of my life. And I think that it has less to do with the vocals and more to do with the physical exertion, because you've just run down a flight of stairs and then up a flight of stairs and then you're hooking yourself into this thing and you're carrying a broom and you've got to figure out where your bag is and then you finally have to figure out how to breathe. That's one moment in the show and just in all shows ever written in history that is I find so challenging, and it's even harder than like I love No Good Deed and I love Wizard and I, but I don't know what it is. Defying Gravity is just the very end of Defying Gravity is really gets you.
Yeah, I feel that on another level. I cracked so bad on so many of my auditions, and the first time that I went on, like, real bad. It's probably still on YouTube. You can look it up, which is why there's like that Instagram like filter thing. It's like, which Elphaba are you? And I got the one that was like the one matinee, that one bootleg of a matinee where you like blew a tire or something like that. And I was like, that's accurate, actually.
There's an
That is the
Instagram
Elphaba.
filter that asks that question.
Of course there is, because everybody's bored out of their
Damn,
minds.
Wicked fans, y'all are wicked, man. I'll say that I blew a tire one time, and it was both tires. And I had that same like terrified thing like you have at the Hippodrome, Christine and Rachel.
Ooh.
It was at Hamilton, and they had to pull me in the middle of the show. I was on for Eliza.
Was it you were just having like a bad vocal day, or were you sick, or what happened?
I was losing my voice, like, so for the my whole contract.
That's the worst.
I was always so afraid of talking about this, but like my whole contract, right from probably about 4 months into like the rest of my time there, I was having so many vocal issues, and I was losing my voice, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was going to mad doctors, blah blah blah. So this particular day, I was still trying to like be a tough guy and like tough through it. So I was hosting Edgeham, this one particular matinee for like 1,800 kids that come to the show, and I'm like, we're excited, and I'm encouraging the kids and popping all out of the different places in the stage, blah blah blah, and then the kids go to lunch, and then we do the matinee. So I'm on for Eliza, and I'm already like, this is so suspect right now. You know when you know that check, you go, ooh, and you don't have it, but you're like, I can negotiate.
I know it well.
But there's always that one little note that will expose your ass in front of everybody.
Yep.
Or like when you check it so much that you actually then
you burn it out
your voice because you checked it so much.
Yep.
That's like sort of what happened to me in the Hippodrome performance. I like did the matinee and I wasn't feeling great and I wasn't sure what I was going to call out. And I just, the entire break, instead of eating my dinner and taking a nap, all I was doing was trying to warm up my voice and see where it was at and see where it was at. And finally, once I got to the show, I literally said the first line and instantly knew. There was like no way that I was going to make it through the show because of the way that my speaking voice was. And it's just like, starting Wizard and I feeling that way is like terrifying. And then also, in order to get switched out mid-show for that show, like you can't do it until right before Defying Gravity. So you have to do most of the first act feeling that way because they have to get the other girl painted green. There's really like no other place in the show that you have enough
Right.
time to do that. So it's like, oh,
Hmm.
that's the worst.
I did a crazy switch out after Popular. I stepped in after Popular once.
No
Oh, wow.
way.
That was crazy. That was
Whoa,
crazy
I didn't
because
even
it
know
was
that they did that.
such a walk off, walk on moment, and I was legitimately 4 inches taller than the girl who was playing Alpha. And so the first 3 rows was like, who is that new green person? We don't know her.
Well, at least you're green though, so there's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Exactly.
for most people, it's like, okay, that checks out. Like I can buy
Yeah.
that.
That's so
Yep.
funny.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with one final question for all of us, which I think was a really good one. It happened earlier up. What inspires you most as leading ladies of Broadway? I'll go first. You do. Like, everyone who's watching, all of these women who have given me their time, like, that's what inspires me most. Um, I'm inspired by people coming to the stage door and telling me their stories when they're like deeply affected by something that I've been fortunate enough to be a part of. Happened a lot on Waitress, and I heard a lot of really amazing stories of physical abuse and pregnancy, and I loved hearing how vulnerable that show allowed the audience to be with me at the stage door. So that really inspires me. My fellow actresses who I get to see perform all the time, who are all incredible and all lead in their own way. That's uniquely them. I was lucky enough to start my career really as an understudy, and I happened to understudy a woman named Marcy Dodd, who is, for those of you who don't know her, she's the best. She's one of the most incredible Elphabas to have ever played the role, in my opinion, and many others. She was like on her last 4 weeks of the job, of that like grueling job, and she started the second national tour, and she had been on it for a while, and I was just coming in as the understudy to Elphaba, and she didn't need to give me the time of day. We weren't going to be on tour together for very long. Like, we probably weren't going to be friends, and she made it a point. I'll never forget it. It was my birthday, like pretty quickly after I joined, and I didn't tell anybody on the road because I was still like learning the show, and I didn't want to bother anybody with like being like, "Hey, it's my birthday, new friends, come celebrate me." So I just didn't tell anybody, and she found out from, I think, maybe our stage manager or something like that, and she was actually like out of the show on the day of my birthday, and still found out what my favorite cupcakes were, and left them for me at the theater with like a little note that was like, happy birthday, fellow Pisces, whatever. And I was like so moved by that, because I think it takes a lot to kind of like put yourself out there, and especially when you're playing a role that like is that big and hard, and she still did it and made me feel welcome and comfortable. So that's what inspires me. Who else wants to go?
That's cool. I will say that I love the change and the feelings that it inspires in people. So, I think that's something that I love. I love standing for something, and I love how willing the Broadway community is to stand for things. I marched on Washington for gay rights in 2008 before I feel like it was cool, and it was with the cast of a Broadway show, so it was like I just I love justice, and I love when what is right wins, and I feel like the community of people that I surround myself with are my people, because we all sort of feel the same way. Um and it's really cool because I think we all get to see daily when you are at a stage door, like you were saying, Christine, where you meet people and they open up to you. And so it's really cool to see just individuals daily that are being affected by your art, rather than putting out an album and not really ever knowing how that music is touching people. But I was reading an article about how everybody's heart sinks, like your heartbeats sink in the theater. And a lot of people are saying, well, is there not going to be a future of theater? Like, it's never going to come back. And um, I just don't believe that, because I think that this is a tale as old as time. Like, theater has been around longer than most things, and in some form or fashion. And this form of entertainment's going to be revived in such a strong way. And I look forward to that, because I think we're all going to miss it and be so excited when it comes back. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I think
Yes.
I'm gonna, I'd sort of tail end on the stage door, because I think what really inspires me is representation, and what really motivates me is representation, and uh, just knowing it's so surreal to me that I could be this person, but just I'm knowing that I can be somebody that anybody can see on stage and say, wow, that person looks like me, and that means maybe I can do that someday. I needed that growing up and watching theater, and it almost feels like a paying it forward kind of thing. And going to the stage door and having any person of color say to me, I'm so proud of you to see you on stage. I'm so excited to see someone who looks like me on stage. That's just genuinely what motivates me, for sure.
That's awesome.
I love that.
I'm so happy that you were able to be that person for somebody. That's really cool.
I love that. It's
Yeah,
similar.
it's kind of surreal.
Yeah. It's similar to Lily, and but also for me is young people. Young people are super motivating to me. I was so inspired by people who were doing it before me and learning from their journey and learning from their mistakes. So I was able to make different mistakes and learn different lessons and like kind of avoid certain things. And so I'm really motivated by trying to be uh, a role model, huh? But a person that people can feel inspired by. My heart goes out to the class of 2020 who probably won't be auditioning for a year after they've received their degree, and like nada. So I've been brainstorming ways that possibly we can kind of get them motivated, and bringing them into the fold and saying, hey, welcome to the theatrical community. This is what we got going on. So I'm really motivated by young people. Also, young people who are of color and of all colors. I have so many young audience members and guests come up to me, especially with the story of Hamilton. It's like everybody comes to you. Like I had people coming up to me that they flew all the way from Tokyo to come see the show. And so that's like, whoa, like this global reach is wild. So I'm motivated by that, and I'm super motivated by when people come up to you and give you your flowers.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love
Figurative
that.
flowers.
Uh,
I'm allergic.
that is, that's great. I feel the same. I'm super inspired by tonight. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for watching and for donating. It's going across your screen, Christine-Dwyer-3 on Venmo, and I put Christine.c.dwyer@gmail.com in the chat for PayPal if that works better for you. All of my Canadian people, we love you very much. Yeah, thank you, Rachel Potter, Cindy Winters, Lily Cooper. You guys are the best. I couldn't have asked for a better group of ladies to kind of kick off this virtual concert series. I so appreciate your time and your talent. And just like Cindy and Rachel and Lily and I said, theater's not going anywhere. It's coming back. It's gonna take a minute, but when it does come back, get ready, because it's gonna be insane, and we're all going to just hug the crap out of each other and
Yeah.
give standing
Booyah.
ovations for every single song, because art matters, and it's a really cool thing to kind of tie us all together when we can't actually be in the same room. It's still happening, and Broadway's going to come back. It's going to be stronger than ever, and we can't wait. But until then, keep looking up virtual concerts. This one will become a series. I'm not exactly sure when the next one will be. It will be soon. I just got to get my ducks in a row, because this was super fun and super successful, and I'm really excited. So thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. I don't know.
This is
I
awesome.
don't know how to end things or start things. So I'm just going to say goodbye.
Thank you for doing this, Christine. You're the
Yeah,
best.
thank
you
you.
to everybody
Thanks
for
for putting
watching.
this together,
Wonderful.
Chris. You're the best.
Thanks. You guys
Good night,
rock.
everybody.
Good night, and stay safe, wash your hands, and stay home. Love you.
Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye.